Have you ever stumbled upon some type of old solo role-playing artifact and you take a look at it and inevitably it doesn't make sense out of context, and then it just pulls you in and you decide this is the thing that you're going to be playing now, you're just getting the itch? Well, that's exactly what's happening today. I found a character sheet for Index Card RPG and we're gonna play a little adventure. Let's go. Welcome back to the channel. I am Sacred and this is The Sacred Art of Gaming, where we enjoy tabletop gaming with an emphasis on solo play. Alright, so a little bit of backstory here. I found this character sheet and something about it was just speaking to me. I saw the name Yatsu and I was like, Yatsu? I don't know why, but that just feels like feudal Japan, and not a samurai, but maybe like someone who's in the auxiliary, or like a light spearman or something. Maybe even using one of those cool, was it the naginatas? Those are pretty cool. Or even just like a halberd or something. But yeah, that's just kind of where my mind went. So I did what anyone would do in that situation, and I started to roll on tables. And I quickly saw in the rules that the stat array that I had was wrong. I don't know if I just was in the middle of playing and I just didn't finish building the character, or what happened there. Maybe this was a minion, I have no idea. But he gonna have a story now. So this is gonna be in the fantasy world. And I started to roll on the tables in the back here to kind of get an idea as to like, who is this dude? And Index Card RPG has some excellent tables. I did not do locations. So I started to roll on things like goals. We're doing Alfheim, which is the fantasy world. Origins. I skipped gear because I kind of wanted to build that out myself, and then like hero story, quote, all this stuff, right? So I did that before I actually started doing the stats for the character. So I kind of did things in reverse of how Index Card RPG probably would normally tell you how to do this. So with that, and I kind of wrote this everywhere, it was a little bit of a mess, but he is born in Dur-Ola and is as cold-blooded as a giant squid, which is interesting. His goal is to purify the tomb of Lion Sword with a bolt of elusive red lightning. No idea what the hell that is supposed to mean, but we're gonna find out. And here's where things started to point me into a direction. The origin. Wizards' apprentices yanked from their studies by a cosmic cataclysm, and then for the quote, beyond time there is a space of pure magical power. From there I have come. And that put me into the mind of, okay, I'm definitely gonna be a mage. This feels mage-like. So I decided on that. I just want to show you real quick like how we came to be where we are at. And then I decided to go through these steps from there to figure out like my stat array, my effort types, how much I'm getting in there, and then also the class, which, did I skip? Maybe that's just the next step. So yeah, I looked at the classes and the life forms here. I may have actually rolled. I don't think the Torton would have been my first choice, but it ended up making perfect sense. Because they come from the stars. The Torrens come from the stars, and they are like refugees in this world. And then from there, of course, I went with the mage. And did I write down I did? Yeah, wild power. So my dice explode. My starting loot is the Astral Grimoire. That just felt right for what we were rolling with here. And then I went with some exotic weaponry. So he actually has a segment staff, which is pretty cool. If that is what I think it is, it's one of those staffs that you can kind of like hold in the middle, and then the two ends kind of, it's almost like a giant like staff nunchuck in a way. I might actually like fantasy that up a little bit more. We'll see. Maybe it's held together by like magic energies or something. But I mean, thematically, those are things, but mechanically, there will be no change there. And let's see. So we got our Astral Grimoire, exotic weaponry, our mixed armor. We have an Adventurer's Pack and Climber's Gear. His spells are going to be Dominate Monster, Mind Trap, and Arcane Missile. My defense is a 14. I have the Wild Power ability. And I think that is about it that we need from there. So yeah, here's my spells. We can get to that when we get to it. Now, I wasn't really sure, like, Purify the Tomb of Lion Sword. I felt like I needed a little more information. So I actually went to Ironsworn Delve. I don't know why, that's just, I mean, there are other things I probably could have went to, but that is what was speaking to me. I rolled on some tables in there. I also made a little table for the tables in the back for loot. And I kind of rolled on the table. Well, I made a table out of the areas within the delve, and it's a Ravaged Barrow. Barrow I decided on, Ravaged I rolled on, and there is a Path of Destruction, and Denizen leverages the environment. And that was off of the Ravaged section. The Barrow section I have not rolled on, but you know what? These are features. Yeah, we can roll on this now. Get a little something extra here. 79. Remains of a Grave Robber. I'm not 100% sure if I should be rolling on this now or if I should be waiting, but that's fine. That's fine. So that's kind of something that we have in our back pocket. And then I was thinking, am I gonna do this alone? Is he gonna be able, is Yatsu gonna be able to do this alone? So I asked the Oracle, is anyone going to be able to assist me? I said yes. I rolled a d4. I got 2 companions. I rolled these guys up randomly. I don't want to focus too much on like their stats, but we have Tamatsu, he's a Torten warrior, and Jane the human hunter. Those names I actually pulled from Xanathar's Guide to Everything. This, I don't know if this book gets talked about enough in our circles, but great names. Great names. So if you have this book already, which is possible if you came from 5e, there's a ton of amazing names in here. I don't know why I was drawing a blank on where to get names, so I just went to something that I knew that had everything to include Japanese names. All right. So let's get rolling on our adventure here. I think it's important because this is almost gonna be like a solo one-shot adventure, I feel like. So, one-shot, we're using that term loosely here, but we're gonna go right to this tomb, which is why I started to roll up on those details already. We're going right to the tomb of the Lion Sword. And when we know that this is a Ravaged Barrow. So I want to think that as all of them are approaching this Ravaged Barrow, Yatsu kind of goes a little bit ahead, and he's kind of looking around, and they just see absolute devastation. I'm picturing like almost like a comet or something hit the area. That's how crazy the devastation is. But what we're actually looking at is not just like a crater. We're actually looking at something that slid. So just like something hit big impact zone, and then it slid through this area that was not initially a bad place. Whatever this thing is that happened, which we may discover through play, whenever this thing happened, it either corrupted this area itself or it opened up this area to become corrupted. So Yatsu looks at the people that decided to join him on this adventure, and he looks to both of them, seeing, you know, what is about to take place is going to be no small feat, and he looks over to them and lets them know that he appreciates them coming with him on this journey. His people are refugees right now, and he was kind of surprised that Jane, the human hunter, was willing to help him on this, and then also his Torton brother, Tamatsu, not literal brother, but he's a mage, so he's kind of, he was out doing his own thing, and if it wasn't for him being plucked from that, he wouldn't have been helping his Torton brothers either. So there's a little bit of button heads there between the two, even though Tamatsu was still willing to help. Tamatsu's a beefy boy who's got a warhammer, and Jane, the human hunter, pretty standard, has a bow and a sword and some mixed armor. I don't want to get too crazy with them and their stats. So Jane is just kind of off to the side and counting her arrows, and she's kind of like, yeah, of course, you know, you would have done it for me or my people. And Yatsu thinks to himself, would I? He doesn't say that out loud, but that's a thing that he's thinking. And then Tamatsu, who I'm almost picturing as like Raphael from, we're basically playing Ninja Turtles right now. He's just kind of like, well, let's get this over with. And so as they approach, and there's fire and stuff in the general vicinity as they are approaching there's not even like a clear entrance. The clear entrance is actually completely collapsed, but there's portions that are destroyed where they could kind of get in. So it's not even like a clean entrance to actually get into this tomb of the lion sword. So let's start with, let's get rolling. Let's roll some stuff. So I think this is actually going to take, so all three of them are actually going to look around and try and get an idea as to what the best way in would be. And we're gonna start things off pretty easy. If you are familiar with Index Card RPG, or if you're not, I will explain it right now. Every scene has like a target number, and then you basically have like an easy or a difficult version of that. So for this scene, this is going to be easy. The target number as a whole, which is gonna be 10, 12 is normal, 18 is like very difficult, and then I think it's 12, and then 15 is in between that. So you basically have a -3 or a +3 on either end of that. So if something was difficult within this scene, which is still set to 10, the roll will be a 13. If it's like very easy, it'll be 7. We're gonna say this is going to be standard for the 10. So they are looking for a 10, and this is going to be wisdom. So we will start with Yatsu, who has no modifier. No. We will go to Tamatsu. That's a 7, that's a no. And then 11, which is the only one with a modifier. So the two turtles are looking around, and they are unable to find what they are looking for. But Jane the hunter, it almost sounds so generic, like too generic. So Jane the hunter is actually able to find a pretty decent entrance into the area. So she calls out to the Tortons, and she's like, "Oh, over here, over here. I think we can get down over here. We can get down over here, and we just have to watch our footing." So they're like, "Okay, yeah, let's Let's do that. And Yatsu has climbing gear, so he can actually use this to make this pretty easy. So, climbing down. Would this be strength? Our mage, by the way, is actually also kind of, because he uses the staff, he's also a strong boy. In this system, Dex is kind of more for like bows, ranged weapons. So, yeah, we'll see. This is gonna be pretty easy for them to all climb down. Let's go ahead and take a look. Yatsu will go first as the leader here. That is a 5. Nat 20 on our Tamatsu here. So he's obviously good. And then Jane is also good. So I'd say with that Nat 20, even though Yatsu's going first, he starts to fall, and Tamatsu, who's kind of getting ready to climb down next, sees what's happening, and he actually like hangs upside down, kind of while holding onto the rope, and grabs Yatsu before he falls. And he looks him in the face as he's upside down, holding the rope and him at the same time. It's gonna be a long adventure if things keep going this way. And Yatsu just looks at him and acknowledges, yes, he understands. And they get down there. Is there any illumination in this area that they have just entered? Yes, but okay. So yes, there is some illumination. But what is the but in this situation? I think Dragonbane is over here. I'm not intentionally trying to mix like 8 different systems in one video, but this is just kind of like what is nearby. Probably would have been easier to use like Mythic or something. I think what we should do is, I kind of want to see on the sub tables here, roll a d4, so there's gonna be two things, and those 2 things will be a danger, of course. 2 dangers, sure, all right. 15, 16. An inhabited layer with ominous war drums. That is strange, but it does kind of bring me directly towards like a very specific kind of situation here. All right, so after much waffling, I have decided that the Minotaur is a pretty good starting point here. And perhaps they hear the drums deeper down, but there is one Minotaur here that is potentially going to be a problem. And luckily for them, this is still like kind of an easy scene. Let's see who goes first, myself or the enemy. This would be me. 9, this would be the enemy. All right, well, that is not good. So as they all get down, the noise that was made from Yatsu kind of falling did alert this Minotaur, kind of like a guardian. And this Minotaur is somewhat changed by what has happened here. There's almost like the fire outside kind of looks normal, but as they're getting in, the fire almost changes to almost like a purple and sometimes a green type of crazy weird color that is like also inside of the tomb. And this Minotaur actually has some of that flame like on his horns. And he is going first, and he is not happy. I feel like maybe we could use these. Keep it simple. I don't think this is magnetic, but that'll work for now. So as they drop down, is he close? Is the Minotaur close? Let's see. Oh boy. No, but. So he is not close, but. No, but he probably has something that he can throw. So he has the headlong charge. Yeah, we'll say he's able to throw something. So he's actually gonna move in on the team, and then he's just gonna take a big piece of debris and try and throw it at us. And do we want, yeah, we should probably just have him roll for simplicity's sake. There's a way to make this like all character facing, but I'm not gonna do that right now. So he's gonna throw this. He has is this a dexterity move? Or is this strength? This is probably strength. So he's gonna throw this, and who's he throwing it at? We'll say this is me, my other Torton, and then our hunter. Say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, he's throwing it at our warrior. We like that. 13. With his +3, that has a 16, which does meet for our warrior, which kind of sucks. All right, and now he's going to roll weapon effort. For next card RPG, I feel like it's worth mentioning at least once, even though it kind of makes sense for what we're about to do, but it does apply to everything. We haven't had to use it yet, but there is effort for everything. Effort is usually like damage in most games. So anytime weapons and tools are going to be rolled, it will always be a D6. Something like bare hands or using your wits will always be a D4. Guns will always be a D8. Magic and energy will always be a D10. And then ultimate will always be a D12. All right. So we bring that up because this is gonna be, and he has +3 weapon effort. So it's gonna be a D6 +3. So that is 6. That is not good. Everything uses hearts in this game, and a heart is 10 HP. So he is already down 6. Let's put that right there. That's rough. That is a rough start. But that's okay, because it's time for us to fire back. I think our warrior here should go first. I think he will. He's gonna close the rest of the distance there, and he's gonna run right up on him. Make sure there's nothing here. Path of destruction. Denizens leverage the environment. So yeah, we'll revisit that, because right now I'm just picturing like a chamber with this strange fire. We do hear the war drums off in the distance. Let's see if Tamatsu can get some vengeance. He's got a +3. So he actually doesn't have his own defense. We are still in our easy scene here. It'll probably end after this fight. Because of this Minotaur, do we think this should be hard? It probably should be, in comparison to the normal or the very easy fight or scene that we've had so far. Wow, that is not good. So, not good. All right, so he just swings and misses. Next is going to be our hunter, Jane, the human hunter. Gets a shot ready. And you know what, too? I think this is a good idea. Is there any of that fire near... You know what? There's gotta be. There's gotta be. We'll ask. We'll ask. Yes. Oh. An extreme yes. So she's actually gonna take the tip of her... And the extreme yeses, we're gonna double up on this a little bit. She actually takes the arrow, dips it in this crazy chaos fire, and then once it's on the arrow tip, it actually starts to like ignite kind of quickly, potentially making this even deadlier. Let's see, she tries to fire the shot off kind of quick because of how quick this fire is setting. So that is a 15. I think she has an ability. She does. If she rolls a 15 plus, she gets to shoot again. That is excellent. That is excellent. All right. So, I think what we're gonna do is we're actually going to upgrade this. If it was just the fire, I would say we'd upgrade it to like gun, but because of the extreme yes, I think we're gonna actually upgrade this to, we're going from the D6 to the D8 to the D10. We're still gonna treat it like a weapon. And she has a +2 on this roll. This Minotaur has 3 hearts, which is 30 HP. Let's see how much damage we can do here. Can't see it. A 1. Well, that's what happens sometimes, kids. So 1 plus 2 is 3. That sucks. So she quickly realizes that although it looks like this could have done a lot of damage, this Minotaur is kind of like resistant to this type of flame that's in the environment. So that is not good. That is not good. And then that brings us to Yatsu. Yatsu, does he want to get up close and personal with this Minotaur? Does he want to get in his face, or does he want to kind of blast him with some magic? I think we want to blast him with some magic. So let's do that. It's going to be intelligence. All right, that's what we like to see. It's a 19, that's real good. Sounds weird, but I feel like I had a very specific D10 in mind. Maybe it was this one? No, it was not that one. Whatever, I will use this one, I guess. I just don't feel good about it. Oh no, it was the black right here. All right, cool. So hopefully this works out a little bit better. Let's see how our magic missile goes as Yatsu's gonna move up a little bit and let off this torrent of magic missiles. Not great. 2 plus 3, that is a -5. That is, we still got a long way to go. Long way to go. So that brings us back to this Minotaur. So the Minotaur has a couple different options here. He can continue fighting it out with our warrior, which has not damaged him. I think he's gonna charge at Yatsu, to be honest. He's gonna move far in a straight line. Would this include Amatsu? Yes. All right, that sucks. All right, so he's gonna do this headlong charge. All enemies must use Dex to evade the charge or take ultimate impact. That is not good. Tamatsu. This is gonna be normal. Looking for a flat 10. He gets it. Tamatsu is good. And then for Yatsu, also gets it. So oh boy. Maybe those weren't the best. Yellow is our enemy. He's the brightest one, so I figured that was a good way to go. So he charges, but both Yatsu and Tamatsu are able to, I didn't realize how, is that really his name? Tamatsu and Yatsu? That's funny, I didn't realize that. They both evade out of the way. And you know what I just realized? Our hunter never got her bonus attack. Let's do that now, which she gets. Does that keep going? Quick draw 15 plus? I think it does, which is kind of insane. Because she doesn't feel good about what happened, she's gonna go ahead and just do a normal. So that is -5. Now we're cooking. Okay, and then that one would miss. Okay. So yeah, Jane, she's able to fire off another shot in the middle of that. And then that brings us back to our warrior, who of course is going to close the distance and get all up on him. And he has not harmed him yet, but he is going to swing away with that big old warhammer. 10. That'll be a hit. That's what we like to see, baby. 3, 5. Another -5. All right, we got him like halfway. This is actually working out pretty well now. All right, our hunter is going to go next. She's actually going to move further away, and she's going to fire up another shot with her bow. 8. That is not going to be good enough because we have determined that he is difficult. I don't know if it might be unfair that this entire fight is difficult. Maybe it should have been specific instances are difficult, but we've already said it, so we're gonna roll with it. It's fine. Yatsu's in his face, so he's actually gonna pull out the staff. He's gonna pull out the staff and start whacking him with it. Hopefully. No, he is not. So that is not good. Now it makes perfect sense that he's actually gonna do his cleave. Bracing and spinning its massive axe, the Berserker hits all close enemies with a weapon attack. So, will he hit us successfully? No, he will not. Alright, so they're actually doing a pretty good job of evading these crazy attacks from the Minotaur that, he charged, he spun, and I think the layer action is coming next because now we've pretty much hit everything. He's definitely going to utilize the environment in some way if he survives. So our Tamatsu, he's not messing around. He is messing around. He is missing. He is missing. But our hunter, though, is going to move even further away. Oh, that's a tough one to see. Oh, 18. She's definitely going to fire again. She's going to fire her weapon. Oh, that is a 6. Is she going to land another attack here? Looks like it. Yeah. Jane. She's quite the ally here. That's another 4. So let's just do some quick math here. 20, 25, 28. So he has 2 HP left. Can Yatsu finish off this Minotaur? Hopefully. The two of them are ganging up on him. I want to say that's going to bring it down from hard to a little easier. He's going to try again with the staff. That's not good. That is not good. Ah, man. All right. So our Minotaur and the environment and this crazy fire that's taking place. What is he gonna do? I mean, he's also slain, so I think what he's gonna do is he's actually going to take, he's got a battle axe. He takes his battle axe and he puts it into the fire, and he drags the battle axe through the fire a little bit, which almost like opens up the fire. No, it doesn't open it up. It actually causes the fire to, it's almost like breathing air into the fire, right? When a gust of wind comes, it kind of comes up even more. And the Minotaur walks down into the fire as though it was a staircase. And the Minotaur leaves. That is not good. Where did the Minotaur go? Yatsu, Tamatsu, and Jane. That sounds funny. What are the chances of that? They all kind of They're looking around confused and they're just wondering what's going to happen next. And the war drums continue to go for probably another few minutes, and then they stop. That's when they know that the denizens of this environment are now aware of their presence. All right, I think that's a good stopping point. Our next scene will not be as easy, even though that did not seem easy, but it was supposed to be. I probably went a little too crazy with the Minotaur. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah, this is an index card RPG with our just off the cuff wanting to play a solo game. If you enjoyed this video, maybe consider slapping a like on this bad boy. Maybe subscribe if you want to see more content like this. I'm Sacred, and I'll see you as we continue to explore the sacred art of gaming